Hey guys, so this is my Senate prediction as of March 8th, 2018. As you can see down in the corner here, this current state of the Senate, we have 51 Republicans and 49 Democrats. Democrats looking to take the majority, Republicans trying to gain on their majority, so we'll see what happens. As you can see, there are a number of striped states, being up in Maine and Vermont, the weird ones with the green being the two independents to caucus with the Democrats. So let's move on to the map. I already have highlighted all the seats that I believe are 100% unquestionably safe. So that means that now these are my ratings, all right? It says safe, likely, leaning, toss-up is what they're technically called. But for me, I like to categorize them as safe. Secondly would be probably, but let's see what happens. Third would be if the election happened today, but things definitely will change or could change. So, because obviously things are going to happen before election day. So this is the current state of the Senate: 47 Republicans, 34 Democrats, as I predict is safe seats. Now let's go through the likely seats, as in, for me, being probably, but let's see what happens. Minnesota, I'm going to call this one likely Democrat. I think that Amy Klobuchar, it could be a safe seat, and in fact, in one of my later predictions, I may make it a safe seat. But because Trump made the margins so close in there, I think it's going to be that. Wisconsin is going to be lean because I feel like Tammy Baldwin has a good chance of being reelected. I just don't see any major challengers going in and beating her. In Michigan, though, I'm actually going to put it lean Democratic because I think that there's John James is a really good candidate. But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to put this as likely just because, again, there's no major candidate that can really challenge anybody in Michigan. Maine is going to be a likely independent caucusing with the Democrats. I think that Angus King is really popular there. And also the vote splitting is going to be big when you have a Democrat and a Republican and an independent running. Last time he got 55% of the vote, but the second place Republican only had 30-something% of the vote. New Jersey, I'm going to say is likely. Democrats are going to be flipping on me right now. But the reason I'm keeping it as likely, just because of the Menendez trials. In fact, well, I just want to see what happens. It's probably not going to be called at poll closing time. That's basically my likely. It's probably not at poll closings, but not too late. Texas is going to be likely Republican, just because Beto O'Rourke a being a minority may be able to get a higher minority turnout in Texas and may be able to hold this off of a poll closing time call. But I think that one's going to be likely. Tennessee, again, Republicans are going to be flipping out on me for Texas and Tennessee. We're talking about those are solid red states. Tennessee, just because Phil Bredesen is running as the former governor, I think that a change Tennessee is not going to elect him. This is an ex-Clinton Democrat state. So these are all the likelies now that I have filled in. And actually one more is in Virginia. I'm going to put down as likely because Tim Kaine, former governor. Virginians really like their former governors, probably because they can only serve one term. But Virginians just tend to like their former governors, and Tim Kaine is very popular there, especially after running as the vice president for Hillary Clinton. So here we go. These are all the states that I'm going to categorize as lean. I'm not going to be doing any toss-ups as of now. If there's something that I'm not sure 100% about, I'm going to lean it one way or the other. Pennsylvania, I'm going to lean Democratic. People are going to be like, what is wrong with you? It's a likely Democratic, or even a solid Democratic. But really, I think that Bob Casey is not the most popular guy there, along with Tom Wolf. I saw a poll. Now, I don't trust polls very much, but I saw a poll that said that like only 30% of voters or something said that they earned re-election. Like both of them, said that Bob Casey earned re-election. So I really think that one is going to be very close. That one's going to be pretty close. But again, I don't see any major candidates who can go in there and flip that seat. And that's why also I'm going to put Montana as lean Democratic. I think that John Tester is a vulnerable Democrat, but in my opinion, he's the most conservative Democrat on the Congress. And I think that fact is going to help him in Montana, and I think he'll be able to hold that seat. And even though I am a Republican, John Tester is a guy that I do not mind having in Congress. I really think that he's a good guy. I like his policies. We don't agree on everything, obviously, but I think that he honestly could be a guy who switches parties. Um, that's and back to party switch. That's why I'm going to lean West Virginia Republican because I feel like in a 50-50 Senate, which it could be, Joe Manchin could flip to the Republicans. He could switch parties, and I think that a major factor is that like with Jim Justice, their governor, who switched parties. I think that's going to play a big factor in that campaign. Florida, I'm going to lean Republican because of Rick Scott running, pretty popular governor down there. I think the Republicans have a good chance of picking up that seat. And now the Republicans have their 51 seat majority. That is done. Missouri, I'm going to lean Republican because I have some polling data that suggests that that one is going to go to Josh Hawley by a good margin. I think the Austin Peterson vote could have something to do with it, but that's only if Austin Peterson drops and runs with the Libertarians after losing to Josh Hawley, which I believe he will. In Indiana, I'm going to lean this one Republican. Fox News, now it's Fox News, but Fox News already has Indiana as a lean Republican state, and I think that that's a big deal, especially being a swing. If you lean that Republican this early, especially with the Mike Pence factor, I believe that one's going to flip. Arizona, I believe, is going to hold with the Republicans. It probably will flip to become a solid Democratic state eventually, but I really don't think that Arizona is quite ready to flip to the Democrats. In Nevada, I'm going to lean it blue because of I think that Jackie Rosen's a very strong candidate. She'll be able to easily beat out Dean Heller. Minnesota special election, I'm going to lean D. Just because voters might not want to reward Al Franken, but at the same time, with the popularity of Amy Klobuchar, it's unlikely that somebody's going to vote for a Democrat and a Republican on the same ballot. North Dakota, I'm going to lean Republican because you got Kevin Cramer, the statewide rep, running there, and that's a really big race. But I think that Kevin Cramer is going to pull it off there. And now Ohio, that one was a really tough one to call. You've got Jim Renacci running there. He's a very strong Republican candidate. But the thing is that Josh Mandel really would have been the best candidate. And Josh Mandel is not running because of his wife's health issues. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to run there. I'm going to lean Ohio Democrat for now, but I think, again, this is one of those ones that is really too close to call. Because Josh Mandel isn't running, I'm going to put it as a lean Democrat. But I really think that Ohio has a big chance of flipping, especially with Jim Renacci, who was straight endorsed by President Trump. President Trump straight asked this guy to run. And with Ohio voting for Trump by nearly 8 points, if I can pull that up here, he won this by almost as much percentage points as he did in Texas, a solid Democrat state. Yeah, you see there he wins Ohio by the psycho margin for a swing state, and I really think that one is a true toss-up. But I'm just because of Josh Mandel not being able to run, I'm going to lean that Democratic. So there is my current prediction: 55 Republicans, 45 Democrats. The Republicans will flip 5 seats; they will lose 1, and so that's